Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. In this video, we're going to talk about hook playgrounds. But before that, there has been some updates to the website. It now contains docs on a number of the features that USSDK has. Also, we've added a pricing, which is 2.5 pesos per session, meaning you are going to spend just 25 cedis for 1,000 sessions and get all of these features. So let's talk about hook playground. In our previous video, we spoke about how you could augment the USSD experience using your custom APIs by specifying them here. And then USSDK is going to call that endpoint with some parameters, and you have to return some results you can use in your message. However, when building the USSD applications, we normally don't have our API endpoints ready, so we should be able to stub them out quickly. So we added a hook playground, which would allow us to build our hook endpoints that we may implement later with code. So for example, we have here a welcome hook, and what it does is a welcome endpoint, and what it does is it returns this simple JSON object. Now to use this existing hook, we can copy the endpoint, come here, and then specify the hook here. Now we will notice that this hook returns a name and age. And we could make use of the name here by using the handlebars name, just like that. When we simulate, you realize that the response from the playground is being interpolated into the message, and we can see that here, right? Good. We can enter our donation amount, and then bam, that's how easy the experience is. Now let's say we want to be able to tell the customer that the minimum amount is supposed to be, say, 50 cedis, right? Now, when it comes to the hooks documentation, there's a way to request a retry to a step. And what that means is that we have to send a 400 response with an action retry and a message this. So we are going to start that hook here. Let's add a new one and call this verify payment. It's going to be a bad response, and then we specify the action as retry and say the minimum amount is 100 cedis. Now there's no actual logic to test the input, but this is just a stub, and to actually test the input is something you do with your API endpoint. So let's save, and then we copy this endpoint from here, and then we save it for when someone enters a custom input. Now when we simulate, we enter 1, we enter say 40, and send. It's going to say the minimum amount is 100, so it's requesting a retry. And as you keep entering any amount, since this is just a stub, it's just going to keep retrying. But with your implementation with code, it's something that you'd have to check and return the right response. So let's say we want to return, okay, now a good response. We update, and when we send, say, 50, that works. So that is how the hook playground behaves. You stub out the responses you expect from USSDK, and USSDK calls the hook to get the results from them. So this will allow you to stub out or build your USSD applications quickly before actually implementing the APIs to replace the playground URLs. So that is it for hook playgrounds. If you have any questions, you can email me. Thanks for watching. See you in another one. Bye.